Our nation is enjoying an unprecedented time of peace and wealth. Our people are happy, and we're so fortunate in so many ways.
Where are you going with this?
I've been thinking.
I wanna ban gay people. Yeah, no, that's canon. This man, this dude right here, he banned gay people. For fans who have only seen the show and have not read the comics or the novels, hi. You're probably a little confused about what I'm talking about. Gay? In my Avatar show? Where? Well, let me catch you all up to speed. At the end of Legend of Korra, we get this shot between Korra and Asami as they're about to go into the spirit world together. And the deeper subtext here is that they're romantically involved. And although they never state it in the show, they do actually state it in the comics about several years later. And if it just ended there, great. This video wouldn't need to exist. But it does. So let's get into it, shall we? The comics then proceed to give us a in-lore reason about why Korra coming out to her parents is such a big deal, which is that homophobia exists in the Avatar world. And the big question I had was, why? Why would they do this? And the reason why I'm asking is because homophobia is a very weird thing. Like, the reason why it exists in our world are very long and very complicated, but it took centuries for it to get to where it is today. So, to incorporate it and to insist that it was always this way is very weird. And to point the finger at this guy and say he banned gay people? Wow. So let's get into it. Let's get into why Fire Lord Sozin, the guy who started the 100-Year War, also banned gay people. So, in the canon of the show, it was stated that Fire Lord Sozin and Avatar Roku had a very close friendship. A very close friendship. And according to all official sources, the Fire Nation didn't really have any issue with gay people up until Fire Lord Sozin banned them outright. I posit to you, dear viewer, that Fire Lord Sozin may have been gay for Avatar Roku. However, by virtue of Sozin being the Fire Lord and thus obligated to produce an heir, and Roku being the Avatar, and, married, he could never truly commit himself to Sozin. And after their several major fallouts...
We are not friends, Christine. We were barely lovers.
I'm going to make the guess that Sozin, in his distressed emotional state, decided to go ahead and ban gay relationships. I will admit it is a bit of a problematic trope, but would you believe it's the most sane answer out of the bunch? This next one, I need you all to hear me out. What if Sozin banning gay people was actually a military strategy? In the Avatar Kyoshi novels, it was stated that Avatar Kyoshi's mother was actually an air nomad, whose bending grew weaker as she moved away from her spiritual roots. And we know from the episode The Firebending Masters that Zuko's own bending had greatly diminished when he had to go find a new spiritual core. From this, we can gather that a person's bending ability is tied to their sense of self, who they are, what they're about. And if you could theoretically neuter that sense of self, that spirituality, you could weaken their bending. Guys, the military reason why Fire Lord Sozin banned gay people was on the off chance that if Aang was born gay or a woman, his bending would be severely nerfed. And I state the woman thing because we have about 5 different avatars to work off of, and they've all been confirmed women lovers. Ah man, the soul is sapphic even when the body is straight. And honestly, if you think about Sozin's plan, it does make a little bit of sense. The air nomads are divided up based on biological sex, and the avatar before Roku was a bisexual. and Roku himself may have also been a bisexual. Sozin had like plus 50% chance of actually being right.
If we believe there's even a 1% chance that he is our enemy, we have to take it as an absolute certainty.
One of the big components of air nomad culture is like free love. None of the cultures in the Avatar world are particularly homophobic, but some of them are much more open than others. So if Sozin's goal was world conquest, and the only thing standing in his way was the next Avatar being an airbender, he'd need to do everything in his power to effectively nerf them and remove them from the board, which meant banning gay people. And you know, the genocide and everything. It's important to note that like, this didn't even work. Not because like Aang wasn't born gay, but because the Avatar world itself is actually not really homophobic. Having combed through the shows, as well as the comics, as well as the novels, there's not really any instance of like actual homophobia. The only amount of homophobia we get is like 2 pieces of flavor text. The first being that the Earth Kingdom is very slow to change, even though they had Avatar Kyoshi, thus implying an underlying sense of homophobia there, which is like very weird. It's weird not because I don't believe homophobia would exist, but the fact that Avatar Kyoshi was around for 2 centuries, and you know, she was bi, and her girlfriend helped clean up some of the messes in the Earth Kingdom, and you know, it's hard to justify that homophobia would have lasted that long when the person who's doing the cleaning and doing the work is quite literally outliving the homophobia itself. I don't know, man. The next piece of flavor text we get is just letting us know that the Water Tribe is cool with gay people. They just prefer everything to be, you know, private about it. In 2023, Nickelodeon released a TTRPG labeled the Avatar role-playing game. And with this role-playing game, they released several pre-built campaigns that take place in the history of the Avatar universe. And it's here we learn that Fire Lord Sozin had a sister that he did not get along with. Sound familiar? Sozin's sister was effectively trying to usurp him and the entire monarchy. But instead of doing it for power like another firebending sister that we all know, she was trying to do it because she believed that her family was evil. And you know, fair. It's also important to note that she herself was a non-bender, and she was dating an air nomad lady and was picking up a lot of air nomad culture and ideas. So it's here that there's a sense that Sozin banned gay people either to hurt his sister emotionally or to negate air nomad influence in the Fire Nation, but there was no homophobia in the Fire Nation to begin with, which makes the banning of gay people still weird. God, I hope Zuko unbanned gay people. While I was doing research for this video, I kind of realized that they never stated when Sozin banned gay people, which leads me to say one of these 2 things is true. Either Sozin banned gay people between the ages of 90 and 102, or Avatar Roku did not care about gay people. Because if Sozin banned gay people as a young man, and Roku did not step in, that makes Roku look real bad. Especially given that, again, there was no culture of homophobia in the Fire Nation.
That was my first real test as the Avatar.
Roku, buddy, I think you missed some other tests, my guy. For all the weirdness that this writing decision made, I still think it came from a good place. If we're taking a step back, the real meta reason about why they injected homophobia into the world of Avatar was likely because they wanted to create a LGBT hero in Avatar Korra. Because what does being LGBT mean in a world where there's no LGBT discrimination? They wanted to give good representation, but the execution kinda came out a little wonky. But it was coming from a place of good and noble intentions. and I think they should get points for that. Because at the time, LGBT rep was very scarce, guys. So, you know, some places gotta crawl before others can run. But yeah, I still love the Avatar universe. And this has been something that's been on my mind for a while, and you know, thanks for listening to my crazy hypotheses about why Sozin banned gay people. Like and subscribe. And Zutara is the superior ship? Okay, bye.